We don't want to be here anymore. We're done.
So is he asking you to, like, kill him? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing for a while. And I can't get him to stop breathing. He is going to be 18 tomorrow, but he didn't want to turn 18.
In a heart-wrenching turn of events, a young boy never got the chance to celebrate his 18th birthday, all because of a chilling act by his own mother. Just hours before he was set to step into adulthood, she made a fateful call to 911. Instead of pleading for help, her words sent shivers down the spine. She couldn't get her son to stop breathing. Most mothers would fight fiercely to save their child, but this mother did the unthinkable. It raises a haunting question. What kind of mother could commit such an act? To understand how this tragedy unfolded, we must go back to where it all began. The story starts in a seemingly ordinary apartment complex, the Bayoint Apartments, located at 791 East 16th Street in Holland, Michigan. This place was meant to be a sanctuary, a home where residents could unwind after a long day. The complex offered 1- and 2-bedroom units, central heating and air conditioning, and even a swimming pool, creating a welcoming environment for families and pets alike. On the surface, the Bayoint Apartments appeared to be just another suburban community, where neighbors exchanged friendly hellos and children played outside. It was a place where people could feel safe and secure, a refuge from the chaos of the outside world. Among the residents were Katie Lee and her son, Austin Picard. They seemed like a typical family navigating life's challenges. Austin was a quiet, intelligent teenager with a passion for books, science, and video games. He was the kind of kid who stayed out of trouble, a reserved dreamer. Katie, a single mother, had dedicated years to raising him alone. Life was tough, but they had each other, and to their neighbors, they seemed like a typical family. However, behind closed doors, a different reality was brewing. For years, Katie and Austin shared an unusually close bond, one that some might describe as overly dependent. Friends noted that Katie was overprotective, struggling to let go as Austin approached adulthood. With no father figure in the picture and no other children, it was just the two of them against the world. But as Austin neared his 18th birthday, he began to crave independence, yearning for the freedom to make his own choices. As he approached this significant milestone, Austin was filled with dreams and aspirations. He had plans for college, a desire to explore the world, and a longing to carve out his own identity separate from his mother. He was excited about the possibilities that lay ahead. Perhaps he would study astrophysics, a field that fascinated him, or maybe he would travel to distant places, experiencing life beyond the confines of their small apartment. But Katie, who had devoted her life to raising him, found it increasingly difficult to accept that her son was growing up. The closer he got to adulthood, the more she seemed to tighten her grip on him, fearing the loss of their close-knit relationship. In the days leading up to that fateful call, tensions between mother and son escalated. Austin, eager to embrace his newfound freedom, began to assert his independence. He wanted to make his own decisions, to explore life beyond the confines of their small apartment. But Katie, feeling threatened by the prospect of losing her son, became increasingly controlling. Friends and neighbors began to notice the strain in their relationship, sensing that something was amiss. Austin's friends described him as a kind-hearted and intelligent young man who had a bright future ahead of him. They recalled conversations about his dreams and aspirations, his excitement about turning 18, and the plans he had for his life. However, they also noticed that he seemed increasingly withdrawn in the weeks leading up to his birthday. It was as if the pressure of his mother's expectations weighed heavily on him, and he struggled to find a balance between his desire for independence and his loyalty to his mother. As the days passed, the tension in their home became palpable. Austin began to express his frustrations to his friends, sharing how he felt suffocated by his mother's overbearing nature. He wanted to go out with friends, to experience life, and to make choices without feeling guilty. But Katie, in her desperation to keep him close, would often remind him of the sacrifices she had made for him, reinforcing the idea that he owed her his loyalty and obedience. This emotional tug-of-war reached a boiling point just days before Austin's birthday. Friends reported that Austin had been increasingly anxious, feeling trapped in a situation he couldn't control. He confided in them about his fears of adulthood, but it was more about the fear of losing his mother than the responsibilities that came with growing up. He wanted to reassure her that he would still be there for her, but he also longed for the freedom to explore his own identity. Then, in the early hours of February 21st, 2025, just a day before Austin's milestone birthday, Katie dialed 911. Her voice was eerily calm as she informed the dispatcher that she couldn't get her son to stop breathing. "Hi, I need an officer here immediately," she said. "My son won't stop breathing." Let that sink in for a moment. Not that he was in distress, but that she couldn't get him to stop. When police arrived, they were met with a scene that resembled a nightmare. Austin was found dead, his throat slashed, and multiple stab wounds on his arms suggested he had fought back, desperately trying to survive. Katie stood at the doorway, a knife still in her hand. She didn't resist arrest, but her surrender was anything but easy. Allegedly, she made a threatening move toward the officers, prompting them to use a taser to subdue her. Once in custody, she expressed a chilling desire for the police to kill her so she could be with her son. As the investigation unfolded, it was revealed that the day before, Katie and Austin had attempted to take their own lives together by overdosing on medication. When that plan failed and Austin lost consciousness, Katie took a knife and committed the unthinkable act of violence against her own child. The most perplexing aspect of this case isn't just that a mother murdered her son, but the reasoning behind it. Katie claimed that Austin was terrified of turning 18, unable to cope with the idea of adulthood. But how many teenagers genuinely feel that way? For most, turning 18 is a cause for celebration, a gateway to freedom and new opportunities. If Katie's claims were true, it would imply that Austin had been suicidal. But was he? Did he truly beg his mother to help him stop breathing? Or was this her twisted justification for her actions? Even if he had been struggling, why didn't she seek help instead of resorting to violence? The inconsistencies in her story raise more questions than answers. 4 days later, Katie appeared in court, visibly shaken and sobbing as she faced the judge. Her emotional display seemed genuine, but Judge Bradley Null remained unmoved, denying her bond and ensuring she wouldn't walk free anytime soon. Her behavior during the police encounter, where she allegedly threatened officers, weighed heavily against her. Despite the gravity of the situation, Katie's family stood by her side, expressing their love and support. As the legal battle loomed, Katie faced an open murder charge, with the jury tasked to determine the degree of her guilt. If they found premeditation, she could face life in prison. If not, a lesser charge awaited her. In addition to the murder charge, she was also facing charges for resisting arrest, complicating her already dire situation. No trial date has been set, but when it occurs, it will undoubtedly be a painful process for everyone involved. Austin's friends, family, and the community grappling with the aftermath of such a tragic loss. Austin's family is determined to keep his memory alive. They've created a GoFundMe to honor him, aiming to give him the send-off he deserves. Described as caring, funny, and full of life, Austin had dreams of exploring space and the unknown. In a poetic gesture, his family plans to send his ashes into space, ensuring that even in death, he reaches for the stars. As they navigate the emotional and financial challenges of this loss, they hope to raise enough funds to celebrate Austin's life in a way that reflects who he truly was. Meanwhile, Katie remains in jail, facing serious charges and the possibility of life behind bars. The haunting question lingers. Did she truly believe she was acting in Austin's best interest, or is there something darker at play? The tragedy of this case is profound, and as we seek answers, we are left with the painful reality that Austin's voice will never be heard again. In the aftermath of this tragedy, the community of Holland, Michigan has been left reeling. Friends of Austin have come together to remember him, sharing stories of his kindness and intelligence. They gather to honor his memory, lighting candles and sharing laughter, trying to keep his spirit alive in their hearts. As the legal proceedings unfold, the media has taken a keen interest in the case, drawing attention to the complexities of mental health, familial relationships, and the tragic consequences of untreated psychological issues. Experts weigh in on the dynamics of mother-son relationships, particularly those that become enmeshed, where one party's identity becomes overly intertwined with the other's. Katie's actions have sparked discussions about the importance of mental health resources and the need for open conversations about the pressures faced by both parents and children. Many are left wondering how a mother could reach such a breaking point and what signs might have been missed along the way. As the trial approaches, the community braces itself for the emotional toll it will take. Austin's friends and family are determined to seek justice for him, but they also want to ensure that his story serves as a catalyst for change. They hope to raise awareness about mental health issues, advocating for better support systems for families in crisis. The haunting question lingers. Did she truly believe she was acting in Austin's best interest, or is there something darker at play? The tragedy of this case is profound, and as we seek answers, we are left with the painful reality that Austin's voice will never be heard again. In the months following the tragedy, the community has rallied around Austin's family, offering support and condolences. Vigils have been held in his honor, where friends and family share memories and celebrate his life. They remember him not just for the circumstances of his death, but for the joy he brought to those around him. As the legal proceedings unfold, the media has taken a keen interest in the case, drawing attention to the complexities of mental health, familial relationships, and the tragic consequences of untreated psychological issues. Experts weigh in on the dynamics of mother-son relationships, particularly those that become enmeshed, where one party's identity becomes overly intertwined with the other's. Katie's actions have sparked discussions about the importance of mental health resources and the need for open conversations about the pressures faced by both parents and children. Many are left wondering how a mother could reach such a breaking point and what signs might have been missed along the way. As the trial approaches, the community braces itself for the emotional toll it will take. Austin's friends and family are determined to seek justice for him, but they also want to ensure that his story serves as a catalyst for change. They hope to raise awareness about mental health issues, advocating for better support systems for families in crisis. The haunting question lingers. Did she truly believe she was acting in Austin's best interest, or is there something darker at play? The tragedy of this case is profound, and as we seek answers, we are left with the painful reality that Austin's voice will never be heard again. What do you think about this heartbreaking story? Share your thoughts below, and if there's another case you'd like us to explore, let us know. If you appreciate our content and want to support our efforts to shed light on these stories, please like and subscribe for more in-depth coverage. Thank you for watching.